Hi! Are you looking for homemade Christmas card ideas that will leave your friends and family saying, wow, that's probably the prettiest Christmas card I ever received? Well, if so, come and watch as I demonstrate for you my Christmas card using the Stampin' Up! Merriest Moments bundle. If you're like me and haven't started making your Christmas cards yet, yeah, a little confession here. You're going to be amazed at how fast you will have them all made with my Merriest Moments bundle Christmas card design. I'm Shelley Godby, the owner and CEO of Stamping Smiles, and for 20 years I've been teaching others how to create their own hand-stamped smiles. So I'm going to use one of the greetings from the Merriest Moments stamp set, but stick around at the end because I'm going to show you an alternative greeting with the sentiment for those that want to send a faith-based card. Here's a closer view of the Merriest Moments stamp set and the coordinating Merriest dies and Merriest embossing folder. These come together because they work together, and I'll show you in just a moment, and they're called the Merriest Frames Hybrid Embossing Folder. But when you order the two of these together, using the special bundle item number I've listed right here, you'll save 10% on both. So I mean the stamp set and both of these together, because this is one item number. And there are so many dies, it takes 2 sheets to hold them all. But look at this, this is really cool. See this big outline die? Well, it coordinates with this folder. You can emboss with this, but did you know you can emboss and die cut at the same time? Look at this. This just fits right on there. And then, I don't know if you heard that little click, it just clicks into place. And now, I'm sitting there pulling on it, pushing on it, it's not moving. So it's not going to move on you when you put your cardstock in there if you get in there fitting well like that. And so this gives you, all that embossing, but a pretty solid image, right? Because that's what it is. For the homemade Christmas card I designed, I'm using this much more intricate die. All right, so we'll be using this along with the embossing folder. So to get started, well, I need my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So I've got my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and we'll start with embossing. So the sandwich is plate number 1, and what that sandwich is building up to the appropriate thickness to be able to die cut or emboss. All right, and so then we have our embossing folder, and I have basic white thick cardstock. So what we're going to do is place this on here. Now look, the part with the Stampin' Up! Logo, that will be the raised. So that's important for you to know where it raises. And see this crease? That will fit right there, and that'll be absolutely wonderful for the distance to have it equal the embossed image from top to bottom. But now what we need to look at is from side to side. And see, I've got more here and it's going off the edge. So we're going to scoot that over. But how easy, because it's leaning against that. And just a little bit more. Okay, let's see what we have here. Nope, a little bit too much. Great. So my design is great from top to bottom, and now I'm looking at the furthest from edge to edge. So normally you are to put in your embossing folders hinge first. Well, that won't work, it's too wide. But I'm really pleased that it fits through lengthwise in the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And it will too if you're using a big shot. So the next and last part of our sandwich is plate number 4. This is a specialty plate to use with 3D embossing folders. It's a little bit thicker than the others. So it comes with the purchase of a Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, but you can purchase it separately if you're using a big shot. So we'll place this on top and then go ahead and feed it through. And I just love how this is so smooth. And I don't get all that popping. There we go. It is a good tight fit because it is that 3D folder that gives you these incredible embossed images. And look at that. Isn't that beautiful? All right. So next we need to do some more embossing. But this time what I have is more basic white thick cardstock and my Stampin' Spritzer filled with rubbing alcohol. You can use water. I prefer rubbing alcohol, actually 91%, because it dries quicker. And so I'm going to mist this, because if you mist your cardstock before embossing it with a 3D embossing folder, you get even a deeper image. I was doing it with my base, and then I ran one through without it and decided I didn't need it, and you'll see why with the finished card. What's important here is just that my whole image is on there, and so let's move that over a little bit. There we go. And so now we'll put it hinge first, again with plate number 4, the specialty plate, and run this through. And I will show you a little bit later the difference between misting it and not. I like the difference, and you may decide it's not worth the time to, but I really do like the difference. Isn't this gorgeous? So now we're ready to die cut. So we'll still use plate number 1, but now we need plate number 2 because we're using thin metal dies, and this is on here. All the directions are on here that I'm showing you, so you don't have to memorize that. And then we need a cutting plate, and that's a number 3. And I'm going to start with our label die because this fits in here. So I could stamp right on there, but this allows me to layer it and change colors, which would be cool. And so I've got some more basic white thick cardstock. And so when you're die cutting, you feel this, that raised edge, that's the part that goes down. That does the cutting. And then my plate number 3 again. And I do rotate these, all right? And it helps to keep your plates from rotating, or I mean from warping. It's just so natural to go in the center, and especially when I'm on camera, I want to go in the center so you can see, but if we move it around, that helps keep our plates from warping and lasting longer. All right, so let's get this done, because I thought if I do the other part first, I know what I'll do. I'll just forget all about the label. But look at that, we get that stitching around there. Very nice. All right, so now for the super cool part. Whoops, and there goes my die. This die, so pretty. And just like in the embossing folder, it lines right up. There we go. And it fits right on there. It's like, oh my goodness. I don't know about you. I was thinking this isn't going to be easy. It's so ridiculously easy because it's embossed so well, like the folder, it just stays right there. So again, another plate number 3, and I'm going to rotate it. Place that on there. We don't want to scoot, and feed this through and wait until you see this. All right. Look how this bad boy cuts all that incredible detail. Isn't this beautiful? So I wanted the more intricate design, and so I just need to pop out these little pieces. And so next I will show you this compared to one that wasn't spritzed, and then we'll do a little bit of stamping and finish our card. All the die cutting and embossing was done, and that was really fast. But before we finish our handmade card, I have a tip for you. Start by embossing your card bases first. I say that in case you didn't get it centered just the way you wanted it from top to bottom. As long as you got the whole image, you know, from side to side, well, you'll be able to use it for this layer, and you'll be able to use the other side too. And so start with that. So you may end up with some of those, but it's so easy you probably won't, but still a good idea. All right, so I just, this white on white, and with, look at this, isn't that pretty? Just line that up. So what we're gonna do is use, oh, my favorite, I call this an accessory, it's not, it's adhesive, these Stampin' Dimensionals. These are foam adhesive dots. Instead of just laying it on there flat, wow, it's going to give it this huge lift. So there are 2 reasons why I emboss the card base, even though I'm covering up basically most of the image. And I'm being generous with this because this is a big piece. All right, so I'm using 6 of them. And take your thumbnail and look at how that makes that edge pop up. And my nails are short. That just makes it so easy. All right, so 2 reasons. One, because of the depth, and if they see it from the side, they're going to still see the design. But the other reason, look at the little snowflakes around it. So I wanted that too. And this just lines up so easily because we're just looking at the design. There we go. All right. Isn't that gorgeous? So the white against the white is one of my favorite looks. And we'll have our white here. And my mom got a Christmas card years ago that was all white with just this little, it was embossed. It was an all white card and just little splash of red, and that's what I'm doing with this card. I'm going to use the Real Red Classic Stampin' Pad for our greeting. So you just pick up this lid and slide it in. All right. And if it's stiff, and they are when they're first, take a little, I take a Q-tip with some Vaseline and just a little bit, put it in, it helps slide. All right. And so then I'm using from our Merriest Moment stamp set, A Joyful Christmas to You and Yours. So all of these will fit inside of this label. Beautiful font. And I went ahead and die cut first because this is photopolymer, a clear stamp. I can see through it and get my placement right where I want it. I find that to be quicker. And when we're making a lot of Christmas cards, we certainly want quicker to be able to just die cut and not try to center it on there the way I need to. All right, so let's go ahead and do a little push and click. And so then I attach this again with Stampin' Dimensionals. And let me show you. Here we go. Isn't that pretty? Oh my goodness. All of that white, so simple. I mean, using this stamp set, you certainly can, and there are samples in the catalog, make this just so much fancier. I am just crazy about this, but I do love a lot of white. And I thought about trying different colors for you because I have the label. I could do in the center any color I wanted. But I just love this so much. I thought, you've got the idea, right? You can do some other colors. And, oh, and I promised to show you the difference. Okay, so here, all that detail, that was misted with rubbing alcohol. You do the same thing with water or without it. And I just think this looks, I can just see that much more definition. It took almost no time. But, you know, looking at the difference, you may decide it's worth the time or not. To me, it is. All right, so that's using the Merriest Moment stamp set. But I promised to show you a same card idea using a different greeting. And here we go. For those who like a faith-based Christmas card. And this is from the stamp set, the Merriest Moments, to decorate my envelope. Very pretty. All of that's included. And there are dies for all that holly too. And so this Christmas Begins with Christ comes from the For Unto Us stamp set. All right, very nice. And so you have greetings and sentiments with this. Love this. And so inside, I did layer it again, and the sentiment came from the For Unto Us stamp set. May your heart be lifted in praise this Christmas for the wonderful gift of Jesus and the joy he brings to our lives. So you see, this label is big enough to be used with other stamp sets as well. I love that. And I'll have a link to my blog post with this card and all the measurements to make it easy for you to duplicate. If you'd like to make my homemade Christmas card easy with the Stampin' Up! Merriest Moments bundle, all the supplies are listed below the video and available to order now in my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com. And when you place your November 2021 Stampin' Up! Order of $50 or more with me, I'm going to send you one of my Merriest Moments cards. So get on over now to my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com. I'm Shelley Godbee, teaching you how to create hand-stamped smiles. Thanks for watching.